Momentum is the biennial of the Nordic countries. So, but I also have seen that you included some artists from Russia, Turkey, Egypt, US, Germany, and Canada. So how come?
Well, here's the deal. Momentum started up in the wake of, or actually right in the midst of something that the Nordic countries wanted they wanted to capitalize of the Nordic art scene that were brought to attention in an international circuit by Hans Ulrich Obrist. He kind of coined something called the Nordic miracle. He said there's so many Nordic artists now, so it's almost a Nordic miracle. So this was, of course, just after the YBA. So the Nordic countries realized that they could have something to gain from this Nordic thing. So they started they put a lot of funding into Nordic things, such as the magazine Nu, as well as Momentum Biennial. The first one was curated by, among them, Daniel Birnbaum and Atle Gerhardsen. So it was in a moment that they were trying to capitalize about this Nordic thing. But since then, of course, things have changed.
What does it mean it changed?
Well, okay, that sort of ended in a way. Not with a bang, but with a wimp, I guess. So, it has been developed into, it's sort of like the curators that are in charge can have a lot of input, of course, to what they want to do. And it has constantly changed from a Nordic perspective to an international, back to a Nordic, to an international, and then back to a Nordic again. And now we are taking it to a level where we don't give a damn where the artists come from, basically. For me, it's much more important that I have developed a relation with some of the artists. I've worked, for instance, I worked a lot in Cairo. So it was quite natural that at least one of the artists would come from Cairo. I've lived in Istanbul, so it makes a whole lot more sense for me to work with the people that I have worked with before or stuff like that, than trying to narrow it down to a Nordic perspective that I'm not necessarily that interested in, even though, of course, I know a lot of great Nordic artists. So it wouldn't make sense either to just skip the whole Nordic thing, because it is situated in the Nordic countries, and it has this tradition of showing a lot of Nordic art, and it makes sense as well, of course. So I've included the only Nordic country that is not represented this year is Iceland, unfortunately. But all the other Nordic countries are there, and a Russian is there because I happened to meet the Russian when I was in Russia.
Flower, just do you think that does a Nordic kind of perspective or view of culture and society exist? Does it exist, a Nordic point of view?
No. That's a simple answer. I guess in one aspect, of course, you are always constantly dependent of your local environment, but these days you and I are quite easily having a conversation about something that engages us both. You're in Italy, I'm in Berlin at the moment. So the internet and the cheap airline tickets for some of us in some parts of the world have made it very easy to connect. It's probably more easy for a Norwegian guy to find someone who's doing the same or having the same interests in Australia than perhaps in his local scene if he's from a small village or something like that. So I think the Nordic perspective, is there something as, I don't know, of course there are some aspects that are closer to the hearts of in the Nordic countries, like the end of the so-called welfare state that we live with every day, and stuff like this, the neoliberal situation that perhaps is surprisingly strong at the moment there, considering it has a tradition of a more social democratic view. Stuff like this, of course, are more important, and of course it's a Western country in the Northern Hemisphere. I mean, we're talking about, of course, the South and the North in another way now, and of course there are developed countries. So in one aspect, of course, there are similarities and stuff like that. But a Nordic point of view, I would not be able to say what that is.
Okay. And the last question, can you tell us what's the budget you have for this exhibition?
It's getting smaller by the day, I tell you.
Do you have, where this budget is coming from? Who is giving you the budget to work with?
Yes.
Or do you have to increase it somehow?
Yes. Well, the budget is excruciatingly small at the moment. It has been diminished every year. It is dependent on the local situation, because it's the local commune, and then you have a little larger commune, and then you have the state of Norway. They give the local commune and the larger commune are giving 20% each of the budget, and the state is giving 60% of the budget. Then there are external money that we apply for from the artists' countries, of course, and other external money. But for instance, just when we had gotten the job, the local commune decided to decrease their budget, which meant that not only did they have to decrease, but also the state and the larger commune. This is because they had a right-wing party that came, and they really don't like contemporary art, and especially not Momentum. So in a way, we have always we have to reinvent ourselves, and this year is we have the smallest budget ever, I think. So it has been a balancing act, I tell you that, to try to think about all these 6 impossible things before breakfast is kind of symptomatic for the whole process, I tell you. It has been a struggle, and we have not gotten any extra money, external funding from anywhere else this year. So
you cannot say how much money you have in entirety, the budget you have.
It is approximately 3 million kroners, which is it is Norwegian kroners, which is a little bit more than 300,000 euros. But this has to cover it all, its entirety.
Both, so, I mean, for each exhibition or for both exhibitions?
For both exhibitions, for the whole thing, the whole shebang, the technicians, our salary, everything, you know. So as a production budget, I have personally for my 13 artists, it's 250,000 kroners, which is a little bit more than 25,000 euro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's exact.
Okay. Okay, so I don't know if you want to add something yourself, something that you like to highlight, or something that you're very interested in, or something that maybe I didn't ask to you and you'd like to tell us?
No, I'm just happy that you are answering, or you are, asking me stuff, and that's really nice. Okay. Thank you for it.